Speaking of on or you're off, we have to talk about a team that might be off now, but there's going to be a lot of people jumping on the bandwagon in the future. And I'm talking about those Miami Dolphins. Now, the Buffalo Bills might have took care of the Miami Dolphins last week, but that doesn't mean they're anywhere close to being done. Miami is going to be quite nice in the future. You just have to prepare for it because it could be week 3, it could be week 4. But Tua Tagovailoa is not far out of realm in the future. He's going to be coming up. Now, if I only had a Miami Dolphin in the house to talk to, I'll see what I can do. You know what? If I got a Miami Dolphin, let him come into the studio right now. So that way we can talk the future of Dolphin football. All right? So, calling out Miami Dolphins. If I have a Miami Dolphin and you want to come onto the show, come on in. With that being said, I want to introduce Jerry Festola. How you doing, Jerry?
Doing all right, man. How you doing, Alex? Getting ready.
I'm good. Jerry, take a minute, explain who you are, what you do, where they can find you.
Well, I'm Jerry Vastola, born and bred in Miami and a Dolphins super fan. Devontae Parker bought and signed that for me. He's a great guy. So we're talking about what's going on this weekend and then throughout the rest of our history. You know, we're looking to bring greatness back into the city. Maybe get a number 2 perfect season going soon. A little bit of help from our boy Tua, who, by the way, I've heard is the truth.
Okay, now I know Tua is the truth. You know Tua is the truth, but I'm worried about Tua's injuries. Let's be real here. I have no expectations for Miami this year. That's real. Next year, after all those draft picks, fixing the offensive line, and under the tutelage of Flores, what are real expectations for you guys in the AFC East?
After next year, by then we should be running things pretty handily, I'm hoping. Depending on how things mesh this year, as I saw in the first game, our offensive line has come together a little bit better, kept Fitzpatrick upright a lot more, a lot less scrambling than I saw last season from them, you know, so that helps out a lot. Tua's injuries are serious. I got to be honest, before the draft, I have my reservations about him. His talent, obviously, is unquestioned. But the fact that he has had multiple injuries through a minimum time of playing in college is something serious, especially with that last injury to his hip. Takes a long time to heal. I know through training camp, there's been talks about him, and he's been on the list. But he's still been full practicing, keeping things going like that. So that's a good sign. And by what I've heard, he either is off or going to be pulled off after this week of any injury restrictions at all, saying that he is 100% ready to go. Which honestly, I really like with Jacksonville coming up in week 3. You know, you're going to be up in Jacksonville, but their defense isn't as fierce to say as, let's say, the Bills coming up this week, you know.
Really now, really. Now, I'm going to be live on location in Jacksonville. I'm going to see what I could do about getting you versus Evan Creel on a debate. Now, let's talk about this week. Stephon Diggs, Motor Singletary, Zach Moss, Josh Allen, the quarterback. God, what are you going to do to slow down this offense that just seems to be a touchdown machine?
Man, they did some nice things last week. You know, Josh Allen pretty much carried the load, though. Devin Singletary was held pretty well. Like I said, you know, we got some hiccups in our first game against New England. That was kind of heartbreaking to watch, to say the least. But we're going to take that forward. You know, it's going to be a home game, so we're going to have that with us. Miami being one of the stadiums that's allowing fans in, I, of course, will be there as a season ticket holder. So that's going to be helpful in the fact that the season ticket holders are the ones that have the tickets. So hopefully there's a lot more actual fans there. Sometimes we can get drowned out. Bills travel well. So I'm sure there'll be a few that'll get tickets in there somehow. But for the most part, it should be a loud and proud Miami fan base in the stadium, which is going to help turn the tide and keep things on our side there. You know, with with our secondary, Xavier Howard, with us getting Byron Jones and bringing him in, we've got a very strong secondary there. I think that's going to hold some of those guys out in check and keep Josh Allen down lower. And then obviously, we've got some good linebackers that we've picked up and they're moving forward. So Josh Allen was the man, and that's where all the running came from. I think we're going to be able to wrap him up pretty well.
All right. Now, Jerry, you and I both know this is not the year.
Oh, no. But last year we were supposed to be 0 and pulled off, 5? This year we're expected to. I'm not looking to go 11-5, although Miami Dolphins superfan will tell you we're going 12-4, and that's just a fact. I'm thinking more somewhere around 7-9, something like that. Maybe even be able to pull off an 8-8 would be nice. Obviously, moving forward is where it's at, so I expect to see Tua later on in the season. It's hopeful to have him week 3, but at the very least, I'm looking halfway through the season. They're going to start putting him out there to see what he can do in real-world situations, because the game's a lot faster than it is in college. And with Fitzpatrick's contract's up, they're not going to have him next year. So if we don't know what we have in Tua, then where are we standing, especially with getting rid of Josh 2 or 3 weeks ago. He was the other backup we had. So it was, hey.
Who you got your eye on? What fantasy player on the Miami Dolphins are you got your eye on?
Man, I obviously was loving Parker. Right now, I'm looking for Gesicki to have some good games. He's pulling his passing together. He's getting better hands, and I like the way he's got open last week. I know he dropped a couple, but we pull those in. He has a totally different game there, and it's a lot more going on. He's becoming more part of the offense. He's been on a lot more offensive snaps lately. He's been on the field a lot, so that helps out obviously in fantasy. And then of course our running back situation right now being up in the air. Jordan Howard and Breda coming in. Those guys, I like to see Breda get a little bit more involved than he was last week. He is proficient when he's coming out of the backfield and catching the ball. So I think that if Fitzpatrick's used him more as a safety valve, he'll be a big contributor to the team.
Thank you, Jerry. Take 20 to 30 seconds, give some shout outs, and I'll see you probably next week with Jacksonville.
Sounds like a great time, man. Hey, what's your Twitch?
Misty Clips. It's MestyClxps.
All right, we're looking for Misty Clips for any gamers out there. That's for my nephew. He's real big on that stuff. So you can look him up if you can, all right? Other than that, man, it's good to see you. Hopefully we catch up.
Thank you, Jerry. This won't be the last time I see you. I'll probably see you next week in Jacksonville.
Look forward to it.
Carousel, 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 this the carousel. On or you off, either you're on or you're off, either you're on or you're off. Knock 'em out. Carousel, 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 this the carousel. On or you're off, either you're on or you're off.